When I got to the barn this morning, I discovered that Elliot had performed his magic on his blanket once again, and don't worry, I ordered him a new blanket that is a little more secure because he went through 2 blankets in 1 week, so hopefully he'll like this new one. So I quickly took care of that and gave him a little bit of love. Obviously, he is attention starving, so he does this for attention. And then I got right into the feeding process. Everyone was screaming at me because they are all starved and dying of hunger. And while I was prepping everyone's feed and supplements, I had to wait for it all to soak, and so I threw them some hay to keep them happy, but they were not happy and continued to scream at me, just in case anyone's wondering. I had to get some hay down from the loft, so I made sure the cats were out of the way before I catapulted it down, and then I fed the lower barn, where they all showed me how awesome they are at munching on their morning mash, and gave me some wet sloppy kisses, pulled everyone's blankets, which Tide was very upset about. He really likes his blankie, but he has a little bit of a winter coat, so he gets it pulled. And then I got right into riding Girlfriend or Coco, whatever we really call her, of the day, however she's feeling. And I already know someone's going to come for me in the comments about this. I'm going to put a Western saddle on her today, and yes, she's very capable of carrying both the saddle and me. I promise I don't weigh that much. I'm perfectly within her weight capabilities, and the saddle is very lightweight. It's easier for me to use a Western saddle and get through all the horses, and honestly, it fits her better than my saddle, my English saddle that's fitted to diesel, so don't come for me. Anyways, then I broke out the PIVO, which I got for Christmas. Everyone keeps asking me which one it is, and I honestly have no idea. It's the red or the silver, I don't know, but it's the one that connects with my phone. I put it on a really unlevel surface, which was not helpful, and I discovered that it doesn't follow as well when you're far away, which is what is causing all the jumping here. Otherwise, I really liked it. It kind of sucks down my battery and only lasts for 20 minutes per video. If you go over 20 minutes, it doesn't save the video, which kind of sucks. But it was really nice to be able to just look at my ride right after I rode and not have to count on somebody else to come film me all the time. It's like my own little cameraman, super handy, highly recommend. Personally, as far as Coco's ride goes, I literally just trotted her around and asked her to stretch. Again, she's super low maintenance and easygoing, but also super out of shape, so it's just a process of building her muscle back up. So I took her out into our empty cow pasture where she had never been before to do some hill work after her trot work in the arena. She was a superstar as expected. Next, it was AJ's time to shine, and you guys have been asking about him like crazy on my Instagram and asking about an introduction video, so this is, I think, his first feature on my YouTube. So AJ is like mid-teens, I think he's like 11 or 12 or so. He is honestly a superstar, and I'm completely in love with him. His challenge that he has is some pretty bad anxiety, which honestly, relatable. We've worked through a lot of it so far, and it seems to mostly be around his face and under saddle. So on the ground, he's perfectly quiet, doesn't seem worried about much, but when you get in the saddle, it's like PTSD episode number 895. He doesn't do anything dirty, he's super safe, but you can just tell he worries a lot, and it's mostly coming from his face, as if he's been torn up in his face before, yanked on his face, everything like that. So his rides mostly consist of just telling him, hey, it's okay to relax, it's perfectly fine, nothing traumatic is going to happen here. So I take everything super slow, and like you can see right here, I just make sure he's staying focused on me, and basically having this conversation with me and not anybody else. I want him to pay attention to me so he becomes okay with everything I'm doing. So right there, he gets anxious and distracted and tries to leave, so I just pull him back, ask him to stand, tell him to relax, and then just put his mind on something else. So I just ask him to start bending a little bit and focus on what we're doing and make his job super easy and super enjoyable. Like I said, he really worries about his face, so I make extra sure not to make any sudden, sharp, yanking type movements to the bit, because that obviously would cause more trauma to him, and there's just no reason for the whole seesawing action. That makes me so angry to see. But anyways, so every time I want him to soften, I literally just pick my hands up and keep them wide. Otherwise, keep them low and wide and make everything super easy and clear to him. And all I want him to do is stop locking his neck and his jaw. It's kind of a defense mechanism for him. He kind of blocks off his face so he can't be yanked on. So he just locks it all up, and all I want him to do is keep it soft. Essentially, the softer he stays, the more relaxed he stays, and this has worked really well for him so far, and he's trying really hard to understand. He's no longer panicking when I ask him to do something. He's like, oh, well, yeah, that's pretty simple. I can do that. And going along the same thoughts, I really just keep every ride super easy and super simple for him. This was just a quick little walk jog ride. I want him to understand that I'm not gonna ask him to move mountains every single time I put a saddle on his back. I want him to enjoy the time that we ride together and not dread it. So here you can see he gets a little agitated with his neck, and I just ask him to soften up. And he has really soft neck and mouth, which is interesting for how much he locks it up. So when he does soften, he tends to over curl and hold it there, which again is, I think, a defense mechanism of his. He also relies very heavily on his face, which tells me that, a lot of, how do I say this? A lot of people ride the face instead of riding the body. And that tells me that's how he was ridden at some point in his life. So he kind of reacts off my leg more than responding. So I'm trying to get him to soften his face and his neck while being comfortable with my legs around him. So I'm keeping the ride super simple and just making everything soft and easy and simple. Then I go ahead and turn the boys out, and once it's nice and sunny and warm, throw them some hay. Diesel loves being outside now with AJ. I keep them separated because Diesel is really mean and doesn't know how to play nice with others, so I put a little barrier between them. But otherwise, they're neighbors, and he loves them. That's all I've got for today, guys. Once it clears up a little bit more, I'll get more videos like this if you like them.